Hi everyone, welcome back to my Let's Play series on my channel. Today I'm playing the city of Kuala Lumpur. I'm creating a city called Kuala Lumpur. It's in Malaysia. It's a capital city. So right now I'm just designing the city quite a bit. And as you can see here, this is the all famous Petronas Tower. And I've added another tower here. This is actually the CN Tower in Canada or something. But actually this tower does not exist in Malaysia. In Malaysia, there's another tower. It's called the KL Tower, I think. It's a very tall tower. So these two buildings I feel are the landmark of the Malaysia skyline. So I've added these buildings at the start. And so I'm just showing you how I design my city. And these are the highways, and I've played a lot with the highways. I've built many ground highways, and I've used elevated highways as well. And I built intersections, and also I've used monorails and elevated monorails. And also there are a lot of avenues, roundabouts and roads as well. So this is just my own creative view of how KL looks like. Of course it doesn't look like that. I'm just inspired by the complex monorail system the city has, and also the many avenues and roads, you know, that lead to the many different edges of the city a bit. And you know, in Malaysia there are just many different types of roads linking to different types of shops and buildings. There are small roads as there are big main roads leading to huge commercial districts. There are many small shops, and there are many you know, secret alleys where you know, different type of businesses and living and shops flourish and stuff like that. So this is a very broad view of how my city look like. So as you can see here, the transport system is quite complicated. Well, it really took quite a while for me to develop all these roads and highways. And of course I use the money cheat, so I have a lot of money at the start. So it's just to accelerate the process, because I do not want to be like building the city bit by bit. It won't be feasible because I need to plug in the complex highways that Kuala Lumpur actually has, because I'm inspired by it. So right now I'm just building some housing for the city. And in Kuala Lumpur, one thing is that the traffic is pretty bad. So not saying that I really want to like totally follow that and make horrible traffic. I did try to improve the traffic by building monorails and highways and stuff like that, and bus stops later on. So but I know that the city will get very big because I'm using a very dense commercial and residential region and very large pieces. So you know, if big buildings grow and they use single lane roads, and the roads will be very congested, and that's just a side effect of making a dense city like that. So right here I'm building many commercial zones, and just building small 2x2 regions near the KL Tower, actually the CN Tower, but let's just call it the KL Tower, because in KL what I like is that actually there's a lot of small shops you know, hidden around the big buildings. So you know, ordinary people, like, you know, citizens of KL and Malaysia come to all these small shops to buy what they want, and it's pretty much a tourist attraction and stuff like that. There are a lot of nice old small shops in Malaysia, so this contributes to the heritage and the culture of the city quite a lot. So I really like the place a lot, and it's a very nice place to shop, even though the cost of living is a little bit high. And what I like to do now is really to make big commercial zones for huge commercial skyscrapers to go, because in Malaysia and in KL recently there are a lot of skyscrapers growing up. So I've decided to zone big 4x4 and 5x5 buildings to allow these skyscrapers to grow. So right here, as you can see, I'm just interchanging between the residential and commercial zones, and I'm building pretty big residential and commercial blocks to encourage the growth of huge buildings. For residential zones, they prefer 3x3 and 4x4 zones, and this zone is a bit too big, so I cut it out into two pieces. So the best zones for residential to grow is actually 3x3. 3x3 zones grow the most types of residential houses, especially maxis ones, and I've downloaded many buildings, custom buildings from SimCity, so I'm hoping that the city will grow some very nice buildings. So we shall look forward to that later. and as you can see, I'm just clustering many residential houses together. Well, in Malaysia there are many types of developments. I would say that the city is a bit complicated and messy because unlike in my country Singapore, no offense or anything, but it's just the way the city works. Malaysia, KL is more chaotic in the sense that there's lesser city planning. So as you can see, the city is very big. It has I think 2 million people or something. So there's horrible traffic and stuff like that. Not saying Singapore doesn't have, but in Singapore we plan out our residential and commercial zones well, a bit too well. So the traffic condition is bad, but still manageable in some routes, I'll say. And the thing of Malaysia is that commercial districts sometimes are not really distinct from the residential districts. So you can see like commercial offices sprouting beside new huge condominiums for the rich people and stuff like that. And right now I'm just building some industrial hubs. This is not really so for KL, but I just want to add the element of high-tech industries in KL. So seems to have a lower commute time since there's these huge strips of industrial zones for them, and so they'll be able to get to work more easily, and they can choose between working in commercial zones or industrial zones. So some of the zones are pretty big, so there's this tedious job of cutting the zones by a bit. So and another thing is I built many monorails. You need to link the monorails up by building at least a road next to it, adjacent to it, so that the Sims or the citizens can get to the monorail and of course hop on it and go to work and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm just cutting the city into smaller pieces. And if you are a citizen in Malaysia, or let's say as a tourist like I am sometimes, I really find the city quite complicated because there's so many highways and stuff. I really don't know, because when I take a taxi or stuff like that, then I feel so lost in the city, and there have been many cases of taxi drivers overcharging their passengers because they are tourists or something like that. They can bring you round and around the highways or bring you to congested highways or stuff like that, while the more experienced taxi drivers can bring you through the small roads so that you can avoid the congestion and save some money. But nowadays this problem is less prevalent. So as you can see here, I'm actually building strips of commercial shops in the city. So just snuggling them along the avenues, the roads, and it creates an element of small shops and retail and businesses growing along the avenues of the city, and it makes the city look more lively instead of just huge buildings growing up. So I'm alternating between these big commercial regions and small ones. And as you can see here, I have too much commercial districts, so I'm just going to rezone some of them to residential zones. And to fast forward the process, I've actually almost finished the industrial, commercial and residential planning. This is really a quick overview of how my city is like. And as you can see here, I've alternated between the different zones, and sometimes I have very small commercial zones, as I explained. These small shops that many Malaysian citizens like to visit, and also there's of course big zones for the huge businesses to grow. There's a lot of banks and offices and stuff like that in Malaysia, as there are in many cities. And also there are residential zones. There's big zones for the condominiums to grow, and then there's smaller ones for some other residents, maybe smaller housing or stuff like that. And right now I'm just going to plot bus stops in a very regular fashion so that the traffic condition won't be so bad. Well, in KL, I would say that there's bus stops, but I wouldn't say it's so prevalent. And but this is just a game, and I do not want the traffic to be too bad, so I'm just going to plot a lot of bus stops along the avenues and roads so that the Sims can get to work and where they want to go to. So as you can see, my roundabout, I put some nice fillers in the roundabouts so that the city looks nicer. I really like roundabouts a lot. They give a round element in the city also. As you can see, in SimCity 4, the roads are all rectangular and only in a 90-degree fashion. But when you build roundabouts, it has this round element that makes your city look more just look nicer and more elegant. It has an aesthetic value. So as you can see here, I'm just going to plot some bus stops in the industrial hub, and some there's this place, as you can see, there's only one road linking up to the industrial hub, so there's some problem with traffic accessibility, which I hope I can try to fix later on. And as you can see here, in my city, if you haven't realized, well, in the big zones, sometimes I leave small gaps between the huge commercial district. Like for every 4x4 commercial zone that I place, or 3x3, I'll leave a small 1x3 gap to put bus stops, as you can see here, near the Petronas Tower, Twin Tower. This is an idea I copied from Darwin, or I don't know how to pronounce it, the YouTube user DWYRIN. He always has these small gaps for bus stop and stuff like that, so I really like it a lot. As I explained in the last episode, I also created this complex transport system in inspiration of another SimCity YouTube user, Haljackey, HALJACKEY. So he's both of them are really very renowned and good SimCity players, and they are pretty active, so I really like watching their videos. I know I'm not so good as them. I just play this game for fun and to entertain all of you. Well, although I secretly wish I can be like them and stuff like that. So right now I'm just going to put some narrow bus stops around the roads, and this will help to improve the traffic by quite a lot. Narrow bus stops are a lot better than bus stops that occupy one zone somehow. I don't know why, because it's able to reach out to more areas of zones, and the high capacity means it can handle a lot of traffic in very dense regions. So a lot of sims will be inclined to use bus stop instead of cars, which will clog up the traffic even more. So wherever I build bus stop, I have to remember to build near the monorails as well later on, so that the sims can change from the bus stops to the monorails, and or should I say elevated rails, and so on and so forth. Well, so right now I'm just building a lot of these bus stops around, and wherever I build too much bus stop, there's a problem of the bus stop not being able to be constructed. So I just need to refresh the thing and click on the option again. So this is my blueprint of my city. Well, it's really loosely designed Kuala Lumpur. I will never say that it's the real one, because the city is very complex and stuff like that, and I really like the city. In the future, I hope I can make more cities like that, but it takes a lot of time, and actually I've recorded this video in advance, so the commentary is added on later and stuff like that. Well, I just hope you all enjoy my videos, and do subscribe and also like my Facebook page. I really enjoy interacting with all of you, and thanks for all the constructive feedback you all give me. And I know my last tutorial video wasn't that good because I spoke too fast and my English wasn't that good, but it doesn't matter. Thanks for the comments. I'll keep working harder, and see you soon.